Death is not a loss. We call death a loss because we see only what ends, but not what begins. But what if death isn't the end at all? What if it's a return, a continuation, a deeper awakening? In this conversation, we explore the mystery of death, not to fear it, but to understand it, and maybe to find peace in knowing that nothing is truly ever lost. Hi, this is Vasudevan, author of Follow Your Heart, Your Brain is Stupid. Let's jump right into the show. Hi, Vibha, welcome to my show. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much, Vasu. It's an honor to be here and really privileged to be sitting again in front of you for another podcast.
Yes.
Really exciting.
In fact, viewers, we are joined today by Vibha Nasheen. Vibha has been featured on this channel earlier, as she was mentioning, and in the last episode, she shared her very inspiring life journey. You should definitely watch that episode. It is there on the channel. Vibha is a telecom professional with over 25 years of experience. She has authored two books, is a biker. I know that might surprise you guys a bit. A life coach, a healing practitioner, a spiritual companion, and a voice and creator of the blog Talks About the Inevitable, a reflective space where she explores death, grief, and what lies beyond. Vibha, before we get started on this episode, if you can just tell viewers as well as me a little bit about the blog and what is it about? Yeah, over to you.
So, Vasu talks about inevitable is probably the sole purpose of my life.
Okay,
This is a space that I've tried to create in order to speak about something that most of us avoid talking about, that is death and what lies beyond. And my journey started after having two losses, simultaneous losses in my family. 2020, I lost my father. 2021, I lost my brother, who was very young at that age. So losing him was a big shock to me. It's like breaking my own backbone.
right,
So that itself was the beginning point wherein I started feeling that I need to look into what is beyond life, what
right,
happens. And since I was grieving, since I was into depression, I felt that there is a need for us, everyone on this earth, to know what is beyond death. And does it really mean that we have to be grieving all the time? Does it hold any other meaning apart from a sadness or a loss? So
right.
that was the seed that germinated over the time, and I started with the blog post talks about the inevitable.
Okay. Viewers, I will share the link of that blog post in the description section. Do go and watch it. Vibha, see, most people fear death. They see death as the end of life, of love, of existence. From your understanding, what is death? Is it an ending or is it a transition into something else?
A very interesting question. And I think this was exactly the curiosity in my mind when I started researching about life after death.
And by the way,
I
Vibha,
understand.
I did a lot of research to ask you the tough questions. Okay, so
I get that because see, this is a very sensitive topic and it has to be
yeah,
researched, understood very well in order to convey and convince the people.
right,
I understand death is a transformation. Bhagavad Gita talks about that the soul changes the body, just like it will take off the old cloth and wear a new one.
right,
Bhagavad Gita tells us about that, right?
right,
I feel the soul's journey is about transformation. It has lived so many years in that body. Now it has to grow up, it has to level up. If I have to compare it, it is like moving in a school. You get an admission in class KG, kindergarten, then you learn something there.
right,
And then once you have learned enough, you move to class 1. So from alphabets you move to words, from words you move to sentence, from sentence to paragraphs, then essays, then novels and whatnot. Every level you are learning something, and once you have learned enough in that class, you give some exams, you pass, you move to the next level.
Right.
If you don't, what happens? You stay back in that class, learn that lesson again, over the time, again and again, and then finally, once you have learned it enough, you move to the next class.
Right.
So the classroom is similar. And what happens? In every class, you will meet your classmates. There are people, there are classes, the classmates who will, who will teach you what friendship means. There would be classmates who would be teaching you what love means. Also, there would be classmates who would be teaching you what jealousy will mean, or hatred will mean, or competition will mean. So think about your life around you are surrounded by people who are teaching what love means, what hatred means. So every emotion is lived by you with the companions that you have in that lifetime. Once you have learned your lesson, they help you to learn your lessons. Once you have learned that lesson, you move to another lesson, which will be in the next class. So what happens? Death forms that one, the result day in your life to show you what you earned. And now you are ready to level up. So for me, it is a transformation. We have been told all the time that death is a loss, because what we personally connect with the person is the body form, the
Right.
form that he is present in front of us,
Right.
not the soul. Death helps us to connect with the soul. And that is the reason I feel it more transformative. Now you are connected with the same person, but a very different level of language.
Right. Got it. So what you're saying is the death is like every class we move, we learn a lot of things, and we move to the next class. That is the transformation.
And if you remember, Vasu, when we were in schools, once we have crossed class 12th and we are given farewells, and we had all those promises with our friends, we will keep in touch, we will keep in touch. Today, if I ask you, how do you keep in touch with your friends who they were in school, either through a reunion, or you may be, part of a WhatsApp group,
Right.
you're not meeting them face to face,
Mm.
but you have now found different modes of communicating with them.
Right.
So we have to take the person, the loved one who has passed on. We have to find new ways of connecting with them. First, we were meeting face to face and we were communicating with them. But today, they are not there. But we do not have WhatsApp on the soul level. But we do have telepathy, we do have emotional connect. And if you remember this movie Interstellar, it
Yes.
talks about a very beautiful there's a very beautiful quote in there which says love is multidimensional. It moves from dimensions to dimensions, and that is the reason if someone has passed on, the love that we felt from them remains with us even if they are not there. We remember all the kind words, how they were helpful to us, how beautifully they protect us. So we remember that love carries on, love never dies.
Right. The other thing which I wanted to understand from you is why do we fear death so much? If you ask people, one of the biggest fears people have is the fear of death, right? Even though we know it is inevitable, but still we fear death. Why is it so?
I think it is a lot to do with our conditioning.
Okay.
There in the way we have been brought up, we have always been told that death is a loss. It is a full stop. There is nothing beyond that.
Right.
The physical form is gone, that person is gone. But if I have to put this practically, and if I ask you, if someone you have loved has passed on, have you stopped loving them? The answer is no.
No.
And you would always feel, some way or the other, their presence you would feel, you would always say, oh my god, that person came in my dream and protected me, probably gave me some message, I saw this and I remembered this person, I heard this music, I remembered this person,
Yeah,
you
that
know
happens.
and I
Right.
think that is the way, my brother is trying to give me a message, that is the way I want to be, they're trying to make me feel that they're present there. Love never ends. The only reason we fear death is because this is the way we have been conditioned. We have always been told that this is a loss. But it's very interesting. When I was researching about it, I came across some countries where death is celebrated. So when the person dies, they celebrate, because they understand that the karma, whatever this soul had come here to fulfill, is now
That's
over. So
over.
that
Okay.
soul is liberated. And that's
Mm.
beautiful. If you are free, if you are, liberated, you are leveled up, that should be celebrated. You think it like this: if a person is dying because of a disease, let's say he's been or she's been suffering with cancer for, let's say, 3 years, 4 years, and that soul chooses to pass over, is that not relieving that soul from that body ache, the pain in the body? And trust me, suffering in the body is painful.
I agree.
So what they are going through, they are immediately relieved from that pain, right? They are
Mm.
leveling up. Probably their karma was to have this body pain, experience this pain in the body, or this heartache, whatever. But now the soul is trying to feel freedom from that body pain, from that ache, from that emotional hurt. So it's a very liberating process. They are leveling up. They are now ready to, it's like the kindergarten child now ready to go to class first. They are excited to go because they want to learn something more. They're excited about life. Look at the kids. They're very excited. So आज ये ABCD सीखा है, कल word सीखना है. They're excited about it. Same is the soul. The soul wants to learn more, experience more. Now this lifetime I have maybe experienced poverty. The next lifetime, because I've learned poverty, I understand what prosperity means.
Right.
So next lifetime, I want to experience prosperity. They're excited. And for every soul, every experience is an experience. It is never a good or bad. It is just an experience.
Mm.
It's like, when you feed your kids, you give a little bit of salty food, a little bit of spicy, a little bit of tangy. So he will get to have the taste of everything. So you as a parent will never say ki this is a bad taste or this is a good taste. So you don't take karela, but you take only sweets. No, you let them taste everything so that they understand what it means, how it feels. So God has given us experiences and we have agreed to have such experiences. So they are liberating. So in many countries, when they die, they celebrate it.
Mm.
Unfortunately, we have never been told that we should celebrate. I think when the soul moves on, we should pray, we should let them go because they have understood it is their time to go. They
Right.
want to level up. Let's help them out.
Yeah, in fact, most of us we start crying and say, "What happened? Why did you leave me?" and all sorts of things we do, which I've heard some people talk about this. They said that when somebody dies, you may feel emotional about it, but you should get over that emotion quickly. Then only the soul will leave and say that, okay, I'm leaving behind these people, my children or my soulmate, because then they are okay. They can manage on their own, and therefore it's time for me to go. And then they leave, but we try to hang on, hang on to them, right? I understand that, yeah.
See, Vasu, this is totally understandable. Grief is felt. It is not something that we can say I can avoid. I would, if I still like, if sometimes I remember my brother, I still cry because I miss their presence. We have been nurtured and conditioned and brought up wherein we have seen those people with us,
Right,
So
right.
definitely we miss the physical form. But today, if I have to celebrate my brother, how do I do it? So I'll give my own example. How do I do it? So when I'm riding my bike, my brother was an avid biker. So when I'm riding my bike and I touch 80 speed, I just do Har Har Mahadev, Godspeed, and I touch because I have a tattoo here of my brother. I touch him here and I
Okay,
just say, let's ride it again.
okay,
That's
nice.
how I'm now, I'm adding him to my own life. That is how you celebrate. You have learned something so important, so beautiful in your life from him. So I added him to my life, and that is the perfect way to celebrate with them.
That's
When people say that, some person, that person has left me, I'll just give a small, analogy. If you have seen the birds, how they teach the small birdies how to fly.
Right.
You will notice that the mother bird, will go to the corner of the building of, or wherever from where they want to jump, to in order to teach the child to fly, and they will let it go. It's not that she wants the child to die. No, she will be there with her, and let her fly, teach her on the way how to flutter its wings, which direction it should face, how the wings should be there, how the tail should be moved, how the body control should be done. The mother is trying to teach the child in that manner. But the moment the mother is confident that now my child does not need my directions, my supervision to fly, it withdraws itself. That's exactly what the soul is doing. When we enter this planet, the soul have contracts. So somebody would be contracting as, come into an agreement to be your father, to teach you as a father how your life should be. Somebody would be coming there as a wife, somebody would be coming there as a husband, somebody would be coming as a child, friends, family, boss. Everybody has a role to play. So once that role is over, they withdraw, because now that contract is over. Now their soul have understood that now is the appropriate time that I can leave everything onto your hands and I can move to the next level, because that's my journey.
Right.
I have to leave. I have to be guaranteed here inside that you are safe, you can handle it on your own, and I can go.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Because
that's
I've
how.
heard about this some term called the soul contract, but I never knew what it is. Thanks. Now I know what is the soul contract. Yeah.
we have we have a lot of soul contracts, trust me on this. And we, as I said, when the soul is willing to learn something, as it enters the body, they want to learn everything. It is like, I want to taste the sweet, I want to taste the bitter, I want to taste the spice, everything. There are souls who want to experience. Okay, if I put it this way, why would you think that a soul would actually want an accident in the life? Or why would a soul would want to come into a life in a handicapped manner? Think it over. Because they want to experience what dependence on others will mean.
Okay.
So if I look at from a earthly specs, I would say this is no, the soul is going through so much of suffering. No, their learning was not suffering. Their learning was to learn what does dependency on other means. So somebody also agreed that, okay, when they learn this lesson of dependency on other, I would put the person to support. Now this is how your soul family comes into picture. So
Mm.
somebody who agreed to walk along with you in that wheelchair, supporting you to move, is your brother, is your sister, is your mother, or your friend, or your sibling, or maybe your wife. That's how you have contracted with each other.
Got it.
And they will learn different toxic relationships also. Why? Because somebody would play that role of a toxic relationship in order to teach the other soul how to break free of it.
Okay.
So it is like, unless you have felt suppression, you will never understand what freedom means.
Got
So
it.
one is playing the role to suppress you, the other will teach you the role of freedom.
So this a very common term. They call it the soul evolution. Just wanted very briefly if you can tell me what really happens to the soul when we die. क्या होता है उसका?
So it is said, when the soul leaves the body, it
Hmm.
moves towards the light. So what is exactly the light is? Light is nothing but it is the path to becoming whole. So when we started our journey, that means when the souls came out, they wanted to learn. They were actually complete and whole.
Okay.
Now it is like a child coming out from the mother's womb, completely healthy, everything is fine. Now it wants to taste salty, now it wants to taste bitter, now it wants to taste something sweet, now it wants to taste something spicy.
Okay.
So once it tastes sweet, it will say, oh, it is very nice, it is very nice, let me try something salty. They were still okay with salty. Then the moment they hit spicy or bitter, they said, no, 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 this is not something that I want. Right?
Hmm.
So unless they have learned. So every time, the body is leveling up with the taste, right? Same way, the experiences. The person may agree to, experience poverty. They will definitely not be born in Ambani's house. But while in poverty, so in one level, maybe at one lifetime, that person who is going through poverty will keep on cursing God, keep on cursing his conditions, environment. Oh, I'm so poor, I'm so poor, I'm so poor, right? But
Mm.
somewhere the soul will feel, okay, if it is not poor, what is it that I want to really enjoy? What makes me happy?
Okay.
That's where the search for happiness, the search for prosperity will start. And as you level up in your thoughts, as you improvise in your thoughts, you will meet people who will actually help you or guide you to level up. So somewhere you will meet a person who will say, okay, you have 10 rupees, let's spend only 9, keep 1 for saving. So far you were only spending 10. Now you have 1 rupee saving.
Okay.
Then the next month you doubled up. You said, okay, now let me just spend only 8, keep 2. Now you have learned how to save. And that's how you're reaching the prosperity, small steps, but you're reaching somewhere. You're no longer the poor kind of a person who's experiencing poverty, but now slowly you are getting into abundance. Slowly you have learned a new skill of saving money. So it happens. This is the evolution of the soul. So if you are going through emotionally, you're feeling emotionally drained out because of certain relationship, you
Mm.
might be, because of your conditioning, you choose to stay in that relationship. But what is
Right.
happening? You stay unhappy. But
That's
one
right.
fine day, you decide, okay, no, I don't want to be in this relationship. It is really, making me unhappy, uncomfortable, not in sync with what the divine plan is. So, what do? You will start looking for something on the internet, meeting certain people. How do I get out of this? Please help me. How do I get out of this? The moment you are, it says na, whenever the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Yeah.
So when the soul is ready to evolve, the teacher will appear. Somebody would be your guide. Somebody would become your lighthouse that will give you the light how to move from that situation.
Right.
So somebody will appear, and that's where you will know what should be done in such cases. If somebody is unhappy in the career, if somebody is unhappy in the health sector, if somebody is unhappy in the relationships, what can I do? And you will see the moment they may start making changes in their lives, and that is a tough thing to do, trust me. If I ask a poor person to save 1 rupee, it is too much
Mm.
for them. But once they agree that I want to experience a better life, changes start to happen.
What you're saying, and I'm inferring from you, is that if you understand death, it helps us live differently, probably more fully. Is that a right statement?
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. In fact, I would like to give you a link of a book, and that's one of my favorite book. It's called Tuesdays with Maury by Mish Album. I recommend it to everyone who is into reading and all. It's one book that teaches you, and from there you get this quote: if you know how to die well, then you know how to live well.
Wow,
If you
wonderful.
know how to die, you know how to live.
Very profound.
Because death is like a ticking alarm for you, that you
Mm.
have these many seconds, these many days, and those many days and seconds are never told to you. I'm talking to you right now. Maybe the next hour I'm not there. But death is that ticking alarm. You know it will be over someday. But still, people choose unhappiness. Still,
Yeah.
people choose a compromised life. Still, people choose that I will, have a lot of time to fulfill my dreams. I have seen people postponing their dreams. Ki abhi to the kids have to be married. Oh my God, now the kids have to be, the grandchildren have to be married. So, and then only I'll buy a motorcycle. No, you don't know. And
Yeah.
trust me, the people who are living their dreams right now are able to manage the responsibilities much better, because when they have fulfilled their dreams, they're so happy that their energy level doubles up. and they're very, keen to fulfill their responsibilities more happily, having a happy life. It is the fuel actually.
Yeah. In fact, Lord Buddha says thing law of impermanence. You have to understand that
Yes.
nothing is permanent in life, including you. But we always start thinking, अरे यार मेरा तो पूरा जिंदगी बाकी है, अभी करूँगा बाद में. Next moment आप जिंदा रहोगे कि नहीं, you don't know. But still we do that.
My brother, when he left, he was 42, and he was
Hmm.
full of enthusiasm. He had so many plans. So when I picked up the stuff after he left, he had a huge map with every place marked, this is where I want to be, this is where I want to go there. He had traveled throughout, his life. He has lived a beautiful life, very inspiring life, and he
Hmm.
had so many plans. And he always used to say that I want to have a very long life because I want to do so much.
Right.
I don't see people talking like this. I don't see any more people talking like this. I want to do this, I want to eat that. And he used to go, give his 100%. I remember he and his friends actually calling me at 10:30 or 11:30 at night, and suddenly, and as I can hear the traffic, and asked, "Where are you guys?" "Oh, we are moving to Lucknow to have tunde kebab." I said, "What?
Wow.
How come?" "No, we wanted to, so we are going. That's it." So
Hmm.
he always followed his heart, and that's so inspiring for me. I have so much responsibilities right now that I'm still not 100% matched to him right now, but I still, take a break, uh, get a quick, a tour to some place, or some place to go and enjoy myself, get a quick, pedicure done, or maybe, just pamper myself for a few days. I do that, or take my bike, go out for a ride for a 1 hour, 2 hours. I do that
Right.
because life is to be lived. Because if you're living happily and fulfilling your dreams, the passions that you always wanted to fulfill, that adds fuel to your existence.
Absolutely. I completely agree. 100%. One question which I wanted to ask you, Vibha, is that when someone close to us dies, knowing all the philosophy doesn't really take away the pain, right? How do we deal with that grief without getting trapped in, and how do we let go this?
See, Vasu, I'll give it from my own experience. It took me time to overcome my brother's loss. For my father, I was very ready because he was aging that moment. For
Okay.
my brother, I was not.
Right.
And there are many people who are going through such phases. My advice to them would be, take your time, allow yourself to heal, but do not get caught with the sadness of it. I would rather appreciate that you find ways to celebrate them. What is it that they wanted to eat? What is it that they always wanted to sing? What is it that they always wanted to wear? Maybe you can donate such color clothes to somebody, some kids. Maybe you can educate somebody because of that person's name. Go ahead and live the good life that they have lived. Carry forward, bring on that legacy to other people. It would be good if you can get some kids and educate them remembering your loved one. Feed them, or maybe adopt something. Get into a hobby. Remember, I painted this for my sister. I'm writing this poem for my father. Write it. Put your energy not into sadness and crying, remembering that they are not there. How can you make their existence be felt now? Put your focus on this. Like I said, when we are away from our friends of the school, we now have those WhatsApp groups, and we find ways to get into that reunion parties, and get into those groups to connect with each other. Find ways to connect with them in whatsoever manner you can.
Right.
You want to sit down in a meditation, remember that person who has moved on and tell him what you feel. Death is only the physical form getting moved out. The soul still connects, the love still exists.
Okay.
And you can always, log into that love, that emotion, anytime you want. Anytime you want. So
Okay. Okay.
celebrate what they have left with you.
So, what I gather from you is that we should not consider death as a loss. Is that summing up what you're saying? We should never, we always
Yes,
think, because at
absolutely.
the end of the day, the person was there, is no more there, we take it as a loss. But what you're saying is you should never consider this as a loss, right?
Because if we gather it from what I have read and what I have researched, once the soul passes on to the other side, if they see people grieving on this side, they are also not happy.
Yeah, I heard this.
We all are on a mission. It's like sending your own child to the border to fight. Can, as a mother or as a father, you will send them ki nahi, nahi, you go and I'm in all tears? No, they are also on a mission. They are moving forward in their journey. Let them go.
Right.
Let them go peacefully. Tell them that I am responsible now. I'll be able to handle, I'll be able to manage. Definitely I would need your guidance when I'm feeling lost. Be there, guide me, come with me, hold me, be with me. But I definitely don't want to stop you. You leave, move ahead, and when my time comes to join you, embrace me with a welcoming smile.
Nice. So, viewers, wasn't that an eye opening session? It was a conversation which many of us will avoid. Vibha shared with us that death doesn't have to be a dark subject, but a doorway into deeper love and understanding. Death isn't the opposite of life, it's part of life. That's what we need to understand. When we truly understand this, fear fades, and what remains is love, gratitude, and peace. Didn't this conversation help you see life differently? Please share your thoughts in the comments, and do like, share, and consider subscribing to the channel. And if you want us to cover any topics related to this, you want us to deep dive into some of these areas, please share with us, and we'll try to create an episode specifically on that topic, right? If any of you want to connect with Vibha, you want to get some more information, deeper understanding, I have taken her permission and shared her contact details in the description section. So you can feel free to go and connect with her. Right. So until next time, take care, stay present, and remember, nothing is truly ever lost. Thank you, Vibha, for joining us today and sharing some really profound insights. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Vasu. Thank you so much.